Well, hey, this is Jerry bringing you another episode of What's Broke Today. That we're starting on episode 7 of Rusty, which is a 2002 F350 rust repair project. And I've been looking at my used parts that I had for the driver's side of the truck, and they're not in good shape. When we look at the inner structure, back in the back we're pretty good, and up high we're good. But down here at the bottom, I'm missing a big segment where I got to graph in some metal. And then even my outer rocker on the inside, it is excessively rusty. And this bottom lip, that metal is thin, and we're missing a big section there. I think I'm gonna make a trip back up to the pick and pull yard where I got the doors and the front fenders, take my Sawzall and some other tools, and I'm gonna see if I can find some metal that's in better shape that I can use to repair the inner and outer rockers on this. Okay, well, today I was getting close to a point where I was going to have to prime on the rocker panel on the truck. Plus, I'm going to have to, scuff up the door where I got to, because I'm probably going to shoot this with primer and then cut in the red before I put the door on. And while I was, sanding and scuffing, because I started out with using a red Scotch-Brite pad, and then I went to and did a little bit of sanding, and then where some of this rust was in the pinch weld down here, I run the wire wheel. And then last thing I was going to do was a little bit of this rust fix on that to seal things in, because I just don't want I know I can't totally get rid of the rust, but I figured I could at least slow it down. So I sanded some on the outside, because where it had the rock chips and stuff, got that cleaned off, and then was sanded it down where it's relatively good feather edge, and then put this rust fix on here, and then I know I'll have to scuff it a little more, because even where I've scuffed, as I move around the light changes, if you see shiny, more than likely primer's not going to stick. So I just figure, well, I'm going to treat this rust, and then I can get around and finish scuffing everything up and be ready for when I get ready to cut in, or shoot the primer and then cut in the red. I just want to do the best I can to, ain't nothing worse than if I paint it and get it all put together, and in a month it's already showing rust. So, but we'll let this stuff dry, and then I'll take the camera out and show you what I did on the truck before I come in here. So this morning I got out here and started grinding down the welds on this pinch weld and smoothing them up, getting them more ready for primer, and then like up here at the front, I didn't even grind on those, because I wire wheel them good, but nobody's really going to see them. I don't know where that cut out at, but I was feather edging all of this and getting rid of all the sharp, transitions between the white and the bare metal, getting ready for primer. And I got to bring that scuff pad out here and get all these tight corners you know, that I couldn't get with the DA. But, you know, I got this kind of smoothed up. This is going to need some body filler, but for now we're okay. Get that smoothed up, and I'm going to spray some of that rust fix down here on the pinch weld. Alright, and you may notice I actually made it inside the barn because I did some serious cleaning. I moved my thing that's my canopy that's inside, that when it's real cold I was getting in there and working and heating that up because it's too much to heat the whole barn. But I started here on the door and getting the paint ground off and starting my feather edging down here on the bottom and checking out the metal, and then I sprayed some of that rust fix on it. Probably see the dark colors, and I've been sanding it down. That I may even mount the door, you can't see it, but all through here is just a bunch of door dings. I got one big dent, and I think I'm gonna get my stud gun and see if I can pull this dent out, because that's the worst of the bunch. I mean, these are going to show up, but they're not that bad. But yeah, my doors look really good. That I got them all stripped down. I pulled the glass and stuff out of them, and the only thing I haven't took loose is the latch. I'm going to pull that loose and let it hang in there and leave it hooked up to the cable. And then I'm going to have to change out the lock cylinders in the doors anyway, so I'll probably just swap the whole door handles since I had those out. But you know, so I was just getting her prepped ready for some paint and primer, but I think those are going to work out really good. Okay, well, it's probably been a week since I've had time to really do anything with Rusty, but you know, it's on these parts that he brought me. I mean, I got parts of them that are totally rusted away. It's thin. I got sections that are gone. You know, it didn't look real good. So, what I did, I went back to the truck I got the doors from, and I took my Sawzall and I cut, you know, through the cab corner, clear down through the floor, and up into the A-pillar and out here, and I got this. And I'm already started drilling out spot welds because I forgot to charge the battery in the camera. So I started to show you this before I drilled, but yeah, I've been drilling and busting the spot welds, and this time I'm using a fairly heavy duty putty knife scraper that I can beat on. Trying not to bend this flange because I needed some of the floorboard. So I'm going to try and do is figure out how far in on the truck I got to go. And I'm going to end up cutting this back through here somewhere and then come back down. And I don't know, I may actually go clear back through here. We'll wait and see, but I'm going to get some more spot welds drilled out, and I'm going to start taking these panels apart because it'll be easier to put the inner structure on with all the outer out. But it looks like really good metal that I got here. So I'll get back to drilling, and I'll check in a few. I got all my spot welds drilled out and this thing all taken apart, and makes me so glad I did, having this to deal with here instead of that. And of course, you know, the funny thing is I'm going to take this cab corner over. I might actually be able to use this and send that brand new one I bought back, because this thing's actually in great shape. Even better here on the outer rocker, because you know, there's what I just took apart, and here's what he brought me, and the metal is in just so much better condition. The only piece I'm going to reuse is the one he brought me, I'm gonna put this on the outside. This is part of the piece for the A-pillar. Yeah, because the next thing I got to work on is, as you can see, where I got all this that's rusted out here, I got to figure out how I want to cut into my floor, because I got holes clear up into there. How I want to cut this out and here, because as you can see, I mean, I got, it's pretty bad, but I'll figure out how I'm going to cut this to graph it in to the cab. And then of course here on the cab corner, I cut out the, I don't have enough hands. Okay, here on the cab corner, see, like this piece is there. I drilled out the spot welds and cut it out. And then I went ahead and cut out, the worst of the cab corner. And what sucks is I got the ID plate here, so I don't know how we're going to deal with that, because I basically got to come around it. And I think what I'm going to do is that flanging tool I showed you, I think I'm actually going to flange this where it's flat and then just weld the gap where it's curved. But any place that's flat, I'm going to try and flange it and do it that way. But my next step, I've been working on getting the floor mat out of it and getting the rest of the cab cleared out, because he did bring me carpet. So I'm going to get the mat out of there and then do some vacuuming, because I got all kinds of dirt here, there, and everywhere that's still in here. And then I'll plan my cut, because big difference is the year of truck I took stuff off of. This has damn wiring harness going through the floor, whereas this one did not. So I got to do a lot of thought and preparation before I actually start cutting again. I got all the rubber mat out of the inside of the truck, and only thing I couldn't get loose was some of the seatbelt stuff that I even tried going underneath and welding that little bung back to the floor, and that didn't work. So I'll have to trim the carpet so I can stick it back over those. But got out here at the outer rocker and was doing my planning on it, because I think I'm going to cut across and then follow this inner structure, which probably be more over here, down, and then come up what would be underneath the pinch weld where the floor and the outer rocker were put together. I'm going to try and cut right below where that end is, and then I'll come up and I need to say this up here isn't great, but like the piece for the our sill plate little plastic thing can fit in there, so that hole's still good, but that one's gone. I think I'm gonna come up and probably come across here, because this one puts me up real close to the seat belt bolt. So I think I'll come around here and then up, and then my panel I got, where it starts its upward transition, I think I can come up to about in here and across, and then I'm gonna try and cut, because I gotta do some measuring, but I think that I've come up far enough here to get to this point and cut in there and cut straight across, and try and got to figure out exactly on this where, but want to cut this across, and then see if I can get that to fit. And then of course here in the back, since I went ahead and left this inner structure, but because it's got the seat belt bolt, But since I'm not going to be needing that, because I still got it up here, probably going to remove some of this, probably below the seatbelt bolt, because underneath here, that structure is not in the greatest of shape. But I think, probably, because see, I got a little gap there. I think if I can cut across or cut it so I end up in this opening, and of course, the front part of that is toast. But I'll end up cutting a little bit of this out, and then I'll have to notch this, cut some more off of here, because of, those wires go through this hole. And everything's so nasty under here, if I can unplug my transfer case and not have too much problem with this connector, I'll probably, I could easily pull the wires through and go up a little higher, but, we'll just have to wait and see. But, this just thing, it's bad, but we knew that before we got started, so. But yeah, that's where I'm at, that just trying to do good planning so I don't screw things up, because like, this metal here coming down to right about there is good. And I started cutting on this and might have did a little too much cutting, but, welding that back together ain't that big a deal right there. Depending on where this matches that. But what I got to do some thinking on that, but yeah, I'm actually, even if I get down there, this metal here, even though it's kind of thin, I can still weld clear up to here. It's just this little tab I couldn't weld on. So, but yeah, I'll do some more thinking and thought on this, and I'm gonna try and get some more of this cut out today. Well, it's nearing the end of episode 7 of Rusty, and I thought I'd bring you back to the passenger side, because just about had this ready for primer, and it had been cool, and I hated to mix. I got the dog helping. I hated to mix up primer just to spray this rocker, so I shot it with some of that rust fix to help seal it in. But yeah, it looks good, and also looks great with all the floor out, all the carpet and stuff no longer in it, and getting the work done on the driver's side since it's the worst. And I have a dog here. He's wanting to help. Say hi, Curtis. Say hi. Okay, he don't want to be on camera. Well, maybe he does. But well, as I was saying, that's going to wrap up episode 7. That I appreciate you watching. That Curtis is trying to be helpful. He's afraid I'm not going to do my job right, but I'll say thanks for watching. Stay tuned for future episodes of Rusty, and then there'll be a few other things I'm going to put in the meantime, because they'll say there's still other work coming in, and this is a huge job. So if I appreciate you watching, just stay tuned, because don't tell them what else you're going to see on What's Broke Today. Thank you.